What's up, business besties?
We're back on our business.
Welcome back to Back on My Business. I'm Jessie Holland.
And I'm Alex Morales.
I don't like how I said my name. I'm Alex Morales. And guys, we're going to be talking about mindset because when you are getting into sales, you are going to be tested. You're going to go through adversity. So it's super, super important to have a good outlook on where you're going to go. So we're really going to dive deep. We're going to share our experiences. So yeah,
this is a topic I'm very passionate about. And I could speak for a very long time on mindset.
let's do it.
But I would really argue that mindset is the most key component to success, like most important aspect. And a lot of people think that success is just a series of wins, but really success is overcoming a series of failure. Like you're failing and failing and failing, and that is what leads people to become successful.
Wow.
And it's your outlook on the adversity that you get faced with that determines really if you succeed or not with anything you're going after. Because a lot of people, especially when going into business for themselves, you're going to get hit with a lot of adversity right off the bat. And it's how you react to it. A lot of people are going to come in and take that adversity as a sign to quit or that's not for them. Or you can use that as fuel. Jessie, I know you've been in business for a while for yourself, and I know it wasn't always smooth sailing for you. You were hit with adversity right off the bat. So if you could tell a little about that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Too. Oh my gosh. Jeez. First of all, again, I'm not a good test taker. That's clearly why I didn't do well in college and high school. When I got into my second career venture, I had to take a state exam to get licensed, and you can only take that exam 4 times in Arizona. And I was like, I'm going to pass it. Nope. I failed all 4 times. So I had to travel to a different state, New Mexico. So an 8-hour drive to take it. And I failed again. So this is my 5th time. I remember driving back 8 hours, crying the entire time. I was like, this is a sign. Like, this is clearly not for me. I'm literally getting like 40s and 50s on my score. And I'm like, I'm studying. Like, I know I'm applying myself. Like, I'm not, like, I have brain cells. I'm here. And I remember my mentor called me by the time, like, at that time, like, we had 0 relationship. Like, it was
You and your mentor?
And I was like, why is he calling me? Like, this is the top guy. Like, this is kind of crazy. And I picked up the phone and he walked me through his journey, like how he went through so much adversity at the beginning, but it's literally, this is your breakthrough. Like, there's a breakthrough coming on the other side. So instead of quitting, I was like, I'm going to do it one more time. So I rescheduled my exam, drove another 8 hours to Albuquerque the same week, and I passed my exam.
And that was your 5th or
6th
time? Okay.
6th time. Oh my God.
But a lot of people would have that happen to them. And like you said, like you did have those thoughts in the back of your head and say like, okay, this isn't for me. This is why I shouldn't do that. A lot of people would have quit right then and there. And it's crazy because if you think about other successful people like your mentor, imagine if he were to quit when he got hit with his first adversity, he wouldn't be there.
Absolutely. It's all a part of the process. It's prepping you for what's to come. And it's your testimony. Like, you can now, he also failed 6 times. So when he told me that, I'm like, okay, I'm not as embarrassed. It's not as scary. But now I can like share that story with other people and tell them, keep going. It's gonna work.
So how do you, because I think the biggest thing is you need to switch your mindset really to start viewing adversity as a good thing.
Yeah.
Which if you've never tested yourself or put yourself in uncomfortable situations, if you haven't played sports, if you haven't put yourself into any position where you're being challenged, most people, and I was one of them, is going to look at adversity as a really bad thing, as failure, as reasons why you shouldn't do something. So that mindset switch is so necessary to be like, okay, this needs to happen. And if you talk to any successful person, it's the trials and tribulations they went through that got them to where they're at. It's the series of failures and failures and failures and them not giving up that literally led them to where they are. So I love that you said that because a lot of people would give up right then and there.
Yeah. With every new level, there's going to be more devils. So you have to know the higher up you get, the more problems you actually have. And the reason that people at the top are making the most money is they're just the best problem solvers.
100%.
They can handle their emotions. They can handle the adversity. It's the ones at the beginning that look at it as like, this isn't for me. I'm not willing to overcome this and break through it and deal with it, that don't make it to the top, because you have to be able to handle all of those things that are thrown at you.
Yeah.
That is what shows that you can be a leader. You can be resilient. You can work really hard.
And the adversity that you face, like right off the bat, is it's not even really adversity. It's just lessons that needed to be learned so that you know how to continue to move up and you know how to get through those things.
Adversity is opportunities. I want to change that word for the rest of the podcast. So every time we say opportunities, we're talking about adversity.
Yeah.
And when you can change that, the way that, like, if you can change your thought process on that, anytime an adversity comes, just start saying, this is an opportunity.
Well, I don't even like the word failure, because it's like the only time you fail really is if you give up or if you quit.
Yeah.
Because adversity, like you said, is just opportunity. So if you just keep overcoming it, the results are really inevitable. Like, you're going to succeed. Most people are giving up before they have their breakthrough. I know you probably see this with a lot of new people going into more entrepreneurial roles and going to business for themselves, which is really sad to see, because someone as successful as you and who has gone through all those trials and tribulations, you probably see how close they are to having their breakthrough.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it is most people are this close, literally, to having a breakthrough, and then they quit.
Have you seen that Instagram picture where the guy's like mining?
Yeah, so the gold
diamond, and it like a foot away, and he leaves.
I was just talking about that with my trainer from gym.
Yeah.
I literally brought up that picture, and then the other guy ends up hitting.
Yeah.
But it is true. Like, you're this close to having your breakthrough and overcoming that adversity. So you just have to push through it and really look at it like, this is everything that's happening to me is happening for me. And especially in business.
Especially. Yeah, you guys have to understand, like, your words are your world. Your words are your world. So what you're throwing out there, what you're saying, is what you're wishing for yourself, essentially. So, like, a huge thing for me when I started was, like, my self-talk. I was so mean to myself. Like, I was really hard. You can't do this. You suck. You're a failure. And I would speak these things out. So I had to reprogram my thoughts and the way I was talking to myself to, you can do it. You will do it. Like, I had to do like my affirmations, my I ams, and reprogram my mind to talk more positive over myself. And that was a huge game changer for like my mindset shift.
100%. And it's like, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's so true. And I know when you were helping train me, when I was going through a lot of adversity, you would always speak through like the power of saying yet, like, I'm not there yet, or I don't know how to do this yet. So you really have to like shift your mindset to really knowing that anything is possible, but you need to go through what is you're getting hit with to grow as a person.
Absolutely. It's all part of the process.
Yeah. And I know originally when you first started, obviously failing your test a few times didn't stop you, but I'm sure the adversity probably didn't stop there. That was probably just the beginning. So how do you coach yourself? Because that really was just the beginning, probably. How did you coach yourself to keep going and keep going, getting hit with more and more challenges?
Yeah, I have to say the hardest part actually of starting this career venture was my mindset, because
Me too.
I could go and like do the sales script. I can go and call, like, that stuff is within itself. Like, but what I had to really focus on is my past programming and the way I would show up and the way I would talk to myself. So some things that really, really helped me, guys, when I had started was like podcasts, like being around people that are constantly pouring vision into you and talking to you about like where we're going, what we're doing, and pouring into me mentally of like, hey, I can relate. So I didn't feel like the only one that was going through that. I had other people going through it too. Podcasts, focusing on myself, like going to the gym, nurturing myself, like taking care of my body, because that naturally brought me confidence, which helped improve like my mindset, which helped improve the way I showed up and, you know, the way I like worked. And being around like-minded people too was so important for my mindset, because when you guys are going through adversity, I literally tell every single person this, it is so important who you go to when you're having a hard time. I made the mistake to bring home my problems to my spouse or my parents who were in the business and didn't understand. And all they did was confirm it. Yep, you should probably quit. Yep, because they don't understand.
You're working too hard.
So when you guys are starting, it is important. Don't bring your crap home. Take it to your mentors only, or the people that are in business that can actually give you a positive outlook on it, because you need help working through that. You can't go to people who don't have what you want or aren't in your business venture that don't understand, because they're going to just confirm and say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you should leave.
100%. And I experienced the same thing. Like when I first started, in my first few months were the most mentally challenging on me. I would go to my family as well, and it was the same thing. It was like, you're working too hard.
It's like, oh,
just like anyone who's working on something and giving their all towards something, there's really no such thing as working too hard.
Yeah, you're building your business. Yeah, you should be working.
And when you come in, because I think the biggest thing is that initial first year, first months, when people come in the business and they're faced with adversity right off the bat, they quit so soon. But you really have to know, like, success is not linear. And it's almost like, how could you come in and discredit like your role models, the people who are where you want to be, and kind of act like they didn't go through everything you've gone through and more. So I love that you say lean on your mentors and people who are in positions you want to be in, because they've gone through everything you've gone through plus some.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to make sure like whoever's in your ear has your future. So if you aren't around the right people, your future isn't going to look too good. So you just got to be very cautious of that, because you want people to be building you up. You need to be around people who are celebrating you, not envious of you, not jealous of you, not bringing you down, not telling you what you're doing is wrong, because they don't understand, and you are different. If you're thinking bigger, you're different, and you need to own that. Don't belittle yourself to people that just don't understand, that think you're crazy. I literally, when I got into my second career venture, I lost so many friends, and I was heartbroken. I was devastated. I was like, why don't they understand? They don't understand. But it was actually for me. Like, I didn't need them, because I was hanging out with a lot of people who are in the service industry. And what do? You go out, you drink constantly, like you sleep in all day, and then you show up for your shift again. That isn't going to get me where I wanted to be. Yeah. So I had to obviously like change my crowd of people, which, guys, when you're starting, like, that is okay. Don't allow it to like affect you or feel like I'm different. Maybe I should be doing what everyone else is doing around me.
Yeah, that's so true. And a lot of people who come in, they end up switching out before they even have their breakthrough. I know we talked about that a little bit, but you obviously went through adversity when you first started. What about after that? A few months later, first year, were you always being tested? And I know a huge part of having a strong and positive mindset, it does stem with having confidence in yourself. Yeah. Which I know you talked about. You didn't start with confidence. No. That was something you had to develop and work on. How do you do that? How did you become as confident as you are now?
Yeah, it just came with the process. Again, like, you have every new level of your career, you're going to have to learn a new set of skills. You're going to have to overcome different things. Like, for instance, my first adversity was passing my exam. My second was learning the sales process. My third was getting into leadership, which that is where I have faced a lot of my adversity. I've had big teams. I've lost my teams. I've had to rebuild so many times. And every single time that's happened, though, instead of looking at it as, why did this happen to me? It's, okay, this happened for me so I can learn X, Y, and Z. So the next time I rebuild, I now have more in my tool belt, and I'm more relatable, and I know how to navigate and grow a little faster.
That's huge, because a lot of people will think that success is very linear, and it's just like maybe you have to overcome the initial adversity, but then it's just an uphill battle. You just touched upon, you've been in the business for a few years, and you've had to rebuild teams and rebuild and then start over and start over. That a lot of people can quickly look at that as like, okay, these are all the signs why I shouldn't do this. You looked at it as a sign, no, this is why I need to go through this. So imagine if you quit even then when you're rebuilding, like you wouldn't be the person you are today. You wouldn't be as successful as you were.
Like Drake says, more money, more problems. So as long
true.
The people that make the most money, guys, are the best problem solvers. So just know, again, whenever something comes your way, you have to write this down, guys. You have to be solution focused. You have to be solution focused, because you will get hit with that same thing again in your career, but it's how much faster can you bounce back? Or, hey, oh my God, this happened to me 3 months ago. I know exactly how to handle it. We're going to work through it. So the first initial time you run into that specific adversity, just know you'll get it again, but you're just going to now know how to navigate through it faster.
But do you think people come in more so focused on the results and the money, and then that's why when they get hit with stuff, they're like, okay, what's going on?
About it.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, guys, when you are getting into sales, you don't want to just like, the money will come. The money will come. Guys, you have to understand this. People that are making millions of dollars, they have become a $1 million person. $1 million person. So they've acquired the skill sets, they've acquired the knowledge to make that type of money. So if you are making 100K and you're stuck at 100K, you're showing up as a 100K producer or sales agent. So you have to not be so fixated on the money. The money will always come, especially if you're applying yourself and you're working hard. You need to work on, how do I become the best person? How do I show up as the hardest worker? How do I apply myself to the point where when I go to bed at night, I am gassed out. My head hits the pillow. I did everything I said I was going to do today. I showed up as the best version of myself. I gave it my all. And when you do that, it compounds. 1% better every day. 1% better every day. It compounds over 100 days. You're going to be 100% better.
Yeah, brick by brick.
It's the people that are like, I'm going to work so hard today. I want to talk on this. Motivation, guys, you cannot just hope to be motivated every day. You will not. You have to show up disciplined. And if you can show up disciplined every day and do the right things over time versus, I'll work today, I'm going to go on vacation next week, I'll come back and work 2-3 hours. Look at your paychecks. That's why you're getting those results.
And I love that you brought up, like, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be like the big dogs, if you want to be like your role models, you need to act like one. You need to tell yourself you're one. And I love that you brought that up, because that was something that my mentors told me when I started right off the bat. Like, if I want to be where they're at, I better start acting like it, not a month from now, 2 months, today. Like, today I am a millionaire.
Let's talk about that. So showing up as...
Yeah. So my first few months in the business was so mentally challenging. I've never been faced with more adversity. Like, I was like, I'm failing. I'm not. Opportunity. It was just so mentally challenging on me. And I think a huge part of sales is it's just the mental aspect. That's the most challenging part. But every day though, I had the decision, like, this is going to be hard. My skill set's not close to where I need to be. But if I want to be making the money that my mentors are making, I need to show up like them.
100%.
So from day one, I literally was running the same exact schedule as them. I went all in, like, every single day, working 10 to 12 hours every single day. And I wasn't results focused, and I'm happy that my mentors right off the bat told me, hey, if you focus on results, you're going to want to give up. You're going to want to quit. You need to focus on personal development and who you become through the process. So every day it was the trials and tribulations, the self-doubt, the lack of confidence, me getting through that. I literally think that's why I am the person I am today. It's from going through all of that. So if you can become fully obsessed with your development through the process and the person you become getting through everything, you're going to find success a lot faster, and you start to become obsessed with that feeling of achievement. It's like mindset, like challenge accepted mindset. Like whatever hits me, I'm going to get through it. So I love that we touched on focusing on.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I love how you said when you started, you showed up and you ran the schedule of the top job. So it's like a lot of people when they come in, they don't do that. They're just like, I want to focus on one thing. I want to focus. You were like, how do I get in interviews? How do I get in every position? How do I get in the managers' meetings?
Yeah.
How do I? Why?
Yeah. Good question. And I remember when I started, like, being scared to do that. Like, I was 23. I didn't want to jump into a leadership position. I felt underqualified at the time. But you qualify yourself by getting through the things you're going through. Like, that is how you qualify and level up. So naturally, just by putting yourself into those positions and being consistent and diligent and intentional, you're gonna just start to have the experience and knowledge you need. So that was huge for me. I was like, I'm not waiting to get into leadership. I'm not waiting to learn how to run a team, how to manage my money. I'm jumping into that right away because why not? Like, I'm watching people do it right now. There's no reason why I can't. So that's why I just went all in and was working every single day. And just like you were saying, like brick by brick, just getting 1% better. It might not feel like you're getting better, but then one day you're better. You're going to look back and be like, it was the trials I went through, it was the challenges I overcame that made me qualified to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah. I always say, like, what you do today, you will see 100% results in 90 days.
Yeah.
So if you don't see it today or tomorrow the next day, stay consistent with it. In 90 days, I promise you, or less. It could literally be less, but 90 days, you'll look back and be like, wow.
Like, if you're coming into a position and you're telling yourself, I'm nothing like that, the top dogs, I can't be a millionaire, I'm not even close to that. Like, that limiting belief is going to hold you back because you are what you put out there. And if however you view your reality is how it's going to go. However you view your business, that's how it's going to go. You need to be pouring into yourself. I am a millionaire. I'm just as good as them. I'm going to become as good as them. But it starts today. Like, you have to be putting in the work they're putting in. But I know confidence or lack of confidence is what kind of holds people back from that. So I think switching your mindset to viewing everything that's happening for you, naturally your confidence is going to go up. Because if you ask anyone who's successful, like, they credit the things they've gone through to what led them to their success.
Exactly.
100% of the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Like, for someone maybe getting into sales, or, you know, they're personally in business and sales right now and are having a really hard time navigating their mindset. When you first started your first year, you had a lot of adversity. You would go through some mindset struggles. When that's happening, what are like a few things you do to like improve your mindset to stay on track?
Well, gratitude is huge.
Oh, I love like talk about that.
Yeah, we'll dive into gratitude, but that is so essential for success, because if you're just pouring negativity into you, like, that's how your business and success is going to go. You need to be thankful for what you have. And something that switched for me, like, months in, when I was getting hit with all different types of things, I was like, what is going on? It just clicked for me one day. I'm like, if I'm committed to the life that I say I want to live, these are the sacrifices, these are the things I have to go through to get there. So you have to ask yourself, like, how committed are you? Because if you're in business for yourself or you're any goal you're chasing, how can you expect that to be a smooth sailing road up? Like, you need to go through things for that. So I just started to tell myself, like, nobody's making me do this. And a rule that I tell myself is, like, I'm not going to complain about things that no one's making me do.
Right.
Like, I'm in business for myself. I'm trying to be financially free. I'm trying to live a life by design. I need to do what it takes to get there. So you have to have that, like, mindset. It may not be your fault, but it is your problem.
Yeah.
So it comes with ownership. And that's where you have to constantly be reminding yourself, is that it doesn't matter what the problem is or what you're being faced with. It's your problem. It's no one else's, and no one else is going to fix it you have to be, like you said, solution oriented.
Yeah, like you can't have a victim mindset, like why me, why me, why me? It's like, how can I get better at this, or this is happening actually for me to take me to where I want to go? And I love talking about gratitude. Gratitude's very huge and prominent in our business, because we can get into a business and because we're not getting results to the person next to us, we can be very envious, or we can have hate or feel ashamed or not confident, and it can bring you down. But you have to be always grateful for where you are at the time, because that is your journey. It is you versus you. You should be looking up to the people that are getting the results. You should be celebrating them, because that's going to bring goodness to you. Like, hey, I will get there one day. I will get there. I'm actually like, I want to be just like you. How do I rub shoulders with you? You want to be a student with those people and get into their brains, rub shoulders with them. But you have to be grateful. And a great practice for you guys to do if you're struggling a little bit with mindset, or you're like, I'm not where these other people are, is take time in the morning to sit with yourself and write down what you are grateful for, because what you have right now is beautiful. Like, you have it all. If you're just here to chase money and you're greedy and you're hateful, you're going to have a really negative mindset. And to change that, to make it more positive, is you just need to be like, I'm grateful for this coffee this morning.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to breathe. I'm grateful I can walk. Like, you have to love the little things, because through your journey, that's what's going to hold you.
And that's why it's so important, again, if we go back, to not be results focused, because you need to enjoy where you're at, whether it's the most challenging time of your life or not. Enjoy where you're at and know that, like, this is what's making you the person you need to be.
100%.
Because what got you here isn't going to get you there. And you always need to be constantly chasing that growth. But you can't do that if you're not thankful for where you're at.
Absolutely. If I could go back to my first 90 days, I would do it over and over again. That was like the biggest exponential growth I'd ever had. And I was just so, at the time, it like sucked. Oh my gosh, it was like a lot. But I'm so thankful for those hard times, because it elevated me to become who I am today. And that's all a part of your journey. You got to love where you're currently at.
Yeah. And for people who are having a hard time, because we talk about gratitude a lot and it seems like very simple, but my first few months in the business, I was constantly being told gratitude, be thankful. And I just, like, it wasn't hitting me. I wasn't really processing it. I was like, no, I just kind of want to make money and get through this time, because this is mentally challenging on me. But gratitude is created. Like, that is something you have to train your mind to think. And if you're going into business yourself, like, be grateful for every moment that you're in, because it is like, when you look back after you get through all that, you're like, this feels even better now that I could confidently say, like, I could get through anything that hits me.
Yeah. When you're grateful too, you show up different. You appreciate everything a little bit more.
Yeah. And I know you practice gratitude a lot.
Yeah.
Before, in the morning, is that when you're...
Yeah. So going back to like self-talk, like when I started, I already shared, like, I was super negative. I would talk so down on myself. So my mentors advised, like, I start my I ams and my gratitude. And yeah, just waking up and saying my I ams, like, I am a top leader. I am a top trainer. I am super confident. Those instilled, the words into me, and it helped literally fix like my mindset and my words. But gratitude as well on top of that, because there was moments in my career where I was like, I'm getting punched in the face 20 times a day. But when I started to look at the positives of being punched in the face 20 times a day, and like, how am I learning from this? Why is this happening to me? How is this making me a better person? I was able to like sit alone, dissect it, and look at it in a better way versus a negative way.
Yeah. And I love that you brought up your why, because that's really gonna, like, the days where you have that self-doubt and lack of confidence and like your mindset is just so negative, your why is going to push you through that 100%. And not only is your why, but reshaping like what you've gone through in the past, because just being in sales and like being business owners ourselves, like we meet so many people with so many different stories who have gone through so much.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the times the things they've gone through in their past that has made them into the hard worker. They've built up their resilience. It's that caused them to be who they are. So I think going out of that victim mindset and being like, everything that's happened to me in the past, this is why I'm going to succeed in the future. This is why I'm going into something for myself. Just because like we don't have to get too personal, but I know we've both gone through a lot of stuff in our past that could easily have carried with us throughout our life where, hey, we're probably not going to make anything of ourselves. This is why we can't do this. This is why we can't do that.
Yeah.
But now I look back and I'm like, it really is like all the tough times that I've went through and the things I've gone through as a child and above that is going to be the reason I succeed 100%.
Yeah. And wherever you guys come from, your story is so beautiful. Instead of saying, why did that happen to me? Or my dad left me at a young age. My mom doesn't love me. I went through X, Y, and Z, which is valid. Like you're validated. Like we all go through really hard times, but that doesn't have to be your story.
Yeah.
You have control of changing your story. And I want to go back to your why. For those of you guys that don't know what that is knowing your why. Like you need to sit down and you need to write down like, why are you doing what you're doing? What on the hardest day when you get 20 no's or you're running in circles, things aren't happening, what is going to keep you focused on showing up? Your why needs to literally have you in tears. Like no matter what I go through, because of my why, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to show up. I'm going to keep applying myself. I'm going to get better. It needs to push you through anything. So if you don't know what your why is, like when I started, my why was literally paying my rent. And that's okay. Through time, you will start to build a bigger why. Your why could be retiring your mom. Your why could be generational wealth for your family. But you have to identify that early on, because when you are hit with adversity, you're going to be like, oh, I can just leave. There's nothing you're chasing. There's no like heartstring there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
100%. And my why was like the same thing when I first started, is just make a lot of money, obviously pay for the apartment that I got.
Yeah, I got to pay for that.
But really, like when I think back to like things I've gone through even before the business, I'm like, this is why I know I'm going to succeed. I'm going to achieve anything I want because I owe it to myself. Like I literally use that as fuel and motivation for me. And that's why anyone who's gone through everything, like don't let that be your reason to not go after something or to quit or to stop. You use that as your motivation to succeed, because your story does need to be told, and you going through all those trials and tribulations, that's what's going to inspire other people who have gone through the same thing that can't make the leap for themselves. So going through everything not only is going to develop you as a person, but you really inspire other people who need to do the same thing, make the leap for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So important. So perfect, guys. I think it's super important. Like some takeaways you can take from this podcast is sit down, determine your why, get laser focused on it, and just know like mindset, it's not going to improve overnight. Like it's always a work in progress. I'm 7 years into business and I'm like constantly evolving my mindset and getting better. And it's just honestly, it's a part of the journey. So
yeah, I think if you could come in right off the bat knowing like everything you're going to be hit with is for you, the adversity is going to come, but coming in knowing right away like that this is necessary to succeed, it's going to just exponentially grow your results, because you can either stay in that mindset that I used to be in where anything that hit me, it was why me, why me, why me, why me. And now it's like,
try me.
Try me.
Let's go. What's next? Alex in the mirror. Try me. But yeah, guys, just really focus on it and just know it's a part of your journey. And it's so beautiful because one day you're going to be able to share your testimony and help more people. But thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any questions, any topics you want us to hit on, go ahead and comment, subscribe, follow. We are so excited to keep sharing our journey with you. We love you guys.